I'm not going to keep you got better things to do on your Sunday. Hang on for just a second. Room for a minute. Oh boy. Alright, looks like I'm connected to my earbuds. Just wanted to put that out there. Sorry for the delay, gang. Got my Cohiba, like lit up my Cohiba. Got my coffee with me. I just got word. Hold on a second. I just wanted to follow up that discussion from yesterday regarding that bean shitter who had to say some racist shit about black Americans down in Houston, Texas. Now, from what I understand, that the activists got involved, but like I said before, I think it's a lot bigger than that. Because why would anybody want to pay attention to somebody that's a non-white, a bean-shitting, non-white, unattractive Hispanic woman, who happens to be a cop, saying some racist shit, and possibly doing some dirty shit to black Americans, to black folks down there in Houston, particularly the FBAs. But like I said, it's a lot bigger than that. There's a reason why she put that video out. And there was a reason why they was trying to keep her on. Because I know they was trying their damnedest to keep this woman on. Because white supremacy, racism and white supremacy and police go hand in hand. Yeah, there is some racism, white supremacy involved, but I think it's a lot bigger than that. I think it's more power. Policing is power. These motherfuckers have the authority to lock you up on some bullshit. Like I seen on those body cam videos. Obstruction and delaying. Obstruction and delaying. Just because you don't want to answer a punk ass cop's question or get involved in their investigation. Or refusing the ID because you don't want to get involved. Now, I admit you have to ID if you get stopped by the police on a traffic stop. But if you're in your own home or if you're walking down the street unless they have probable cause of a crime, you have no legal authority to surrender your ID to these motherfuckers. Like I said, I don't defend cops. I wouldn't want, if they're in my family, I hope they just taking the pension, taking a job, get the pension, and get the fuck out of here. But with this bitch, it's a lot bigger than that. And you think, and I see all the activists down there, Quan LX. This guy is hilarious. He wants to open an investigation on this woman and this officer and investigate all the cases that she was involved in, that she had testified, that she had the right police reports, and just to see if any of those arrests are legit. The arrests and convictions are legit. My thing is about cops, they love arresting you on low-level shit. They don't mind locking you up, having you spend 3 or 4 hours in a detention center, getting fingerprint processed and all that bullshit, awaiting bail, which is probably about 10% of the amount. If it's $1,000 bill, it's about $100. And if they arrest you while you were driving and they pulled you over and they arrest you, you're going to get your car towed. So it's going to be like, what, $100 a day to get your car, for your car to be impounded. Oh yeah, and you got to pay the tickets and all that bullshit. So you got to go through all that bullshit for a low-level crime. Not a misdemeanor, not a high-end misdemeanor, not even a low-end felony, but a bullshit misdemeanor charge of obstruction. So I think they should just do away with that. I personally think the ACLU should get involved in that shit and document monitoring these arrests. Because if it's just merely that the officer, if the person being arrested is just questioning the officer in his authority, I think those cases usually get thrown out anyway. Because it's a big waste of time and a waste of resources and a waste of my taxpayers' money. But anyway, I didn't want to talk about that. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in that the bitch got fired. But like I said, it's a lot bigger than that bitch. You got to remember, this is a machine that we're dealing with. We're only dealing with the cog. You're taking victory laps for getting rid of the cog instead of the whole machine is corrupt. So I wanted to talk to you about a few things today. I saw on my Facebook news feed that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion broke up because he didn't want to be monogamous, but he sure looked monogamous and was supposed to beforehand. But you know what it is, and I'm just going to be blunt about it because I normally don't, like I said, I don't talk about celebrities and their business, but what they do reflects, and I talk about the generality of the celebrities' behavior because it does reflect on real life relationships. Now, my thing is, he just didn't like her anymore. For whatever reason, he just didn't like her. And let me go ahead and translate that into real life. Because I'm certain that you're with some woman you just had sex with, that you smashed, and you found out some shit about her that you really did not like, or you had an anxiety episode that I don't think I should call this bitch, but let me go ahead and call her, and she says the right things to you, and then you keep her around for a little bit, and then you start smashing her, and then you begin seeing other women, because quite frankly, you just didn't like the bitch. And how many of you, raise your hand, how many of y'all fellas, and I'm speaking to the fellas, that you went out on a woman, you went out with a woman, you asked her for a number, went out on a date, spent $200 on Papa Dolls, she dropped the drawers for you, and then you realize, I don't like this bitch. I don't like, I mean, raise your hand, because don't be shy, raise your hands. That's why you got a lot of baby mamas. That's how y'all created, that's how y'all fellas created these baby mamas, because somehow smashed the bitch. The Twizzle was good until she got pregnant, and then you couldn't handle all the emotional hormones that's going on, or you just realized you just didn't like the bitch. You didn't want to have children with this bitch. So you said, fuck it. I'm not saying most of y'all. Some of y'all just don't like it. You just didn't like the bitch. That's so much animosity toward that. And I'm gonna tell you why you get a brick thrown through your windshield, fellas. Because you're not honest with these women. You're not saying, all right, look, it was fun. I got the pussy. I think I'm just not feeling it. All right, let me just go on my way. Y'all keep it going. Y'all keep the bullshit going. Now, I don't know what happened in their relationship, but the wet ass pussy wasn't really all that good enough for her to keep around. Now, everybody wants to talk about status. You know, he's a high status man, but she's making her own money. She has her own notoriety, so I'm not going to sneeze on that. I mean, think about it. He's an NBA player. He makes millions dribbling the basketball and putting in the hoop for a living. Now, it may sound simple to me and you and the rest of the people who have to go up and get up and go get a job, who have to go to their 9 to 5 every day. Sometimes it's 7 to 3. Sometimes it's a 7 to 7. Because I know a lot of y'all work 12-hour shifts. All right. Some of it's kind of hard to fathom that, right? That a multi-million-dollar who's also an entertainer, who goes out and rigs basketball games for a living, so that suckers like me and you who go on FanDuel betting on player props, hoping he gets 25 points at 200 plus 200 odds, and then ends up having a bad shooting night and ends up with 23 points. Okay? Where my $50 could have been 100, now I just lost $50 on this punk ass motherfucker. But he's an entertainer. They both are in entertainment. Okay? They're celebrities. She'll be all right. Okay? He'll be all right. They'll both be all right. Okay? Now, back to the normal people who y'all believe some of these hoes are 8s and 9s and 10s when they're really 3, 4s, and 5s, pretending to be 9s, you know, like 49ers. They're 4s that believe that they're 9s. Okay? This is what the vast majority of the everyday black man is dealing with. You don't deal with no 8s, 9s, and 10s, okay? Now, Megan Thee Stallion, if she wasn't who she was, she's just a typical hood rat bitch. A hood rat hoochie mama. You ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hood rat hoochie mama. That's what she is. She's just a hoochie mama that made some money. And he got tired of her. And let me go ahead and get me one of these snow bunnies, all right? Who got some act right. All right? Because my rule is, fellas, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, and you certainly can't turn a hoochie mama into a housewife either. Okay? A hood rat hoochie mama. You can't turn them bitches into a housewife. They're not refined. Okay? Depending on what kind of hoe you're dealing with, it could be a common streetwalker or a high-level call girl, which you can go out, or that works in a brothel, that you can go out to Vegas, right? I know Dennis Hart, when he was alive, you know, he had a stable of them hoes, man. And I know my brother Rich, he wanted to go out there just to hang out at the bar and see the hoes, man. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I ain't trying to pay no $500 for no hoe. Okay? I don't have the ends yet. I don't have the ends. I don't have the money yet. All right? I don't have the ends. I gotta step my game up a little bit. My game is good, but I gotta step it up a little bit to the millionaire, to the multi-millionaire status. I'm just a multi-thousandaire, all right? You know, I'm just now a multi-thousandaire. I graduated from being a multi-hundredaire to a multi-thousandaire, all right? I'm not up there yet. Okay? But that's what it is, man. He just didn't like the bitch anymore. That's all. I mean, I don't know if he was honest about it. He said, you know what, bitch? This ain't working. I gotta go. I gotta explore my other options. Now, guys like that who have money like that, money and fame, he has no power, but he has money and fame, can exercise their options like that. They have leverage and options. Just like a lot of you fellas out there, the everyday black men, y'all have leverage and options. You just haven't explored it yet. Because y'all used to dealing with these 49ers here in the States. You're dealing with these 3s, 4s, and -1s out here. Who's acting the fool. Now, I understand why some of y'all brothers are going overseas, man. That's why I got my passport. Damn it, I got to get my passport renewed. Shit. Before I become ass out. So I got to get, you know what? I'm going to have to get that done today. But it's a lot easier and cheaper to date overseas. And speaking of dating, because this is the reason why I don't date in the United States anymore, because it's not fun. It's more like a it's more like a humiliation ritual. Okay? And as someone that's 52 years old, going out on a date with someone that's 50 years old, my age or older, smelling like Ben Gay instead of Chanel number 5. You know, have Ben Gay covering up the smell of Chanel number 5, and then you got to look at this bitch, and if she's a Caucasian bitch, right? You know how those bitches have that red, you know, that red shit on their chest, man, the cougar chest, you know, with the sunburn, the permanent sunburn on top of their chest. You call it the cougar chest. You have to deal with that shit. You got to deal with her babbling on about their exes, their children, their grandchildren. The ex-husband is a dick, you know, and all that bullshit. You gotta listen to this shit in order for you to get the pussy. All right? And I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with no old bitches anymore. For what? For who? I mean, I might deal with one or two every once in a while, but you know, it gets old, man. I want to be next to some young, unwrinkled bitches, man. You know, young, good-looking, bitches that wasn't untainted by society and the hardship of life. All right, that's what I want to do. This is the reason why I date younger women. I got to get back to dating younger women, man. I got to start dating younger women again. But I don't want to date these hoes in this country, so I got to go overseas, man. I mean, just for dating, I ain't trying to marry these bitches. I'm not trying to marry these bitches and bring them home. For what? For who? Why not just have a girlfriend here? A supposed girlfriend here in Colombia, in Japan, everywhere that you travel. I mean, you can do it here in the States, man. You don't have to have a chick at home. For what? So they can come over to your house and start some shit up? And start fucking with you? Nah. But if you're going to deal with the bitches here in the United States, man, I tell you, just be honest with these hoes, man. If you don't want a brick thrown through your window, thrown through your windshield, you don't want your tire slapped, be honest with the bitch. Just tell them, look here, bitch. We're just fucking. All right? I'm not trying to put a ring on your finger. I ain't trying to do all of that husband shit. I ain't trying to get married to you, all right? All right? I want to see other people. I want to fuck around with other people. I want other bitches in my life. All right? So I don't want you coming over to my house with a knife in your hand trying to cut me up. Because I hurt your feelings. All right? So you got to be honest with these hoes, man. That's why I don't date. I mean, it's a waste of time, man. Look, think about the one, let me go ahead and talk about a little bit of my dating history, right? I didn't start fucking with white women until 2020, right? And I had my first piece in 2017 when a white woman was interested in me. I mean, she started doing this crazy. She started looking at me crazy and started saying crazy shit to me until she admitted that she had a crush on me. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, all right. I didn't know what to do at this point because I never had a white woman come up to me and say, hey, I actually like you. Let's do this. I was always the one chasing after these hoes. And that was my big mistake. Especially with these black women, when you finally get one, they're really ain't that fun. They're really not that fun and interested. To me, there's a difference. Look, in general, all women are not really that interested. They're not really that interested to hang out. But with black women, I never have any fun on the date with them. They always complain about some bullshit. All right? They either complain about some bullshit or they're asking me for money. All right? And when I get into a relationship with them, they always want to argue and fight. They always want to argue with you and bicker with you with some bullshit about some bullshit. All right? When I was dating white women and had short-term relationship with white women, it was like it was no real drama or anything like that. I know y'all. My thing is, all women are the same. When you get really down, when you get right down to it, they just do things differently. Some white women, they want to make sure that you are all right until they feel like if they're not feeling you anymore, they'll let you know. But it's not really any drama or anything like that. The real drama is, and that's universal, fellas. And it's universal with all races of women. You try to fuck them over. You try to be dishonest with them, because I know I have with the black women that I've dated in my life. I got caught in some bullshit, and it's not going to work out well for you. You will get embarrassed. And you gotta, and you fellas, you gotta stop pandering to these women. Stop pedestalizing women in general. I don't care what race of women they are. You have been pedestalizing white women over black women. White women will not like it. They'll see right through you and they will dump you. See, when I was dating white, I haven't gone back to black women yet. I mean, because the only time I went back to a black woman was last year when I was dating this punk ass bitch. This punk ass Bama bitch who thought she was going to be a successful artist. And writer and performer and all that bullshit. But wanted me to pay for her, pay $1,000 for her to go to bartending school. Full disclosure, I kind of dumped her after that, but she officially said, you know what, it's not working out. And I said, all right, cool. Because I knew she wasn't shit, and she knew she wasn't shit. But like I said, universally, if you're lying to these bitches, you try to fuck them over, and they will, and like I said, they will fuck you up. Like that motherfucker out of the University of Michigan, Sharon Moore. He was trying to fuck over his wife with his mistress. The mistress that he hired. He hired the mistress to work with him while slipping her the pipe. And then the wife found out about it, probably contacted the mistress, and they got together and said, hey, let's get this motherfucker fired. Well, they got together. Well, they got together afterwards, but they didn't know he was going to get fired until he actually got fired for fucking around. I think he got fired for fucking around. Got caught fucking around with one of the employees. Because she told the administrator. She told her higher-ups what they were doing. See, and that's another thing, fellas. And I'm going to talk quickly about this, man. So all y'all up here fucking around with these hoes on the job, don't shit where you eat. I never shit where I eat. All right? Because it could be a problem. Once there's a problem, because bitches will cause a problem. That's universal. I don't care if you're with a white bitch, a black bitch, a Hispanic bitch, an Asian bitch, a Hindu bitch. You try to fuck a bitch over, they will fuck you up. You just won't know it. And I realized that later in life, that this is the mentality of a woman. They're fine if you're honest with them. And let them go on about their way. You go your way, she goes her way, all right? But you gotta stop. And another thing, what this motherfucker did, Sharon Moore, was go over to the mistress' house and try to commit suicide because he lost his fucking job. They got arrested. They got arrested and had charges placed on him. So he just got out of that criminal case. Thank God. But this is an example, fellas, of not shitting where you eat. You don't fuck with the women on your job. You don't fuck them. You don't date them. You don't have sex with them. You don't flirt. You don't even flirt with them. Your job is where you make your dang on money. And that's it, period. You can fuck up your money over some pussy. But see, I see a lot of y'all, and I see a lot of y'all fellas, I'm going to go into overtime because Coach talked about it on this show. Coach Greg Adams, CGA. And I'm going to go in depth, and I'm going to be raw about it. And because I used to do it. I used to value women over myself, over my well-being, over my wealth, over my success, over my progress in life. And I'll tell you a story about this chick I was seeing. Her brother-in-law. He was married to her sister for almost damn 50 years. And I believe that when they were in college, you know, she was going out, she was trying to be a teacher, and he was studying to be a pharmacist. But she wanted to get married to him and start a family now. So he had to drop out of school, put her through school so she could be a teacher, while he's working at a phone company for the last 35 years until he retired, doing something that he did not want to do. That's an example of putting a woman over your dreams. Now I can say I did a podcast about women are dream killers, but I have to sit back and say no. Men who value women instead of valuing yourself as a man. You killed your own. You shoot yourself in the foot. I almost did it. And I said, no more. Nah, fuck these hoes. I'm living life for myself. And I learned that lesson at 29 years old. When I risked my credit, my reputation, moved down to Florida, funky ass Florida, helped this bitch move from funky ass Missouri to Florida, hoping to start a life with her. 3 weeks later, she didn't like me. And I can honestly tell you I was devastated. But then you know what the best part about it, it took me a long time to recover from it, but I recovered. But some of y'all are not so lucky. Some of y'all married these hoes young, realize, because you're living life for a woman. And Coach, his whole show is based off of men who went through a traumatic divorce, lost everything, because you're gonna lose when these hoes divorce you. You're gonna lose. I have a client right now that's in almost $150,000 in tax debt due to a divorce over a bitch out in California. Still have to pay alimony and child support. while he's living in a box apartment. She's living in a house. He's living in a box apartment. A funky ass 2-bedroom apartment paying $2,500 a month. Some of y'all are on child support right now, and you're a month away from that little crumb snatcher, this nappy head crumb snatcher. You're a month away from that nappy headed crumb snatcher turning 18. I have a buddy of mine that has 48 months left. No, not 48 months. I think he has about a year left of paying child support. And that's it. Now he can get his life back together. Now he can start saving some money. Now he can buy a new car, buy a house, use that money to save up for a house or a condo. Use that money to travel overseas to fuck with hoes, trick off on some hoes. So now you're looking at me like talking crazy. You never married. You don't have a legacy. You don't have no children. Yeah, I got children. I got other people's children in my family that I grew up with. I can leave it to them. I can leave my fortune to them. I won't need it. I'll be in the upper room somewhere. I'll be gone and forgotten somewhere. If I'm in New York City, God forbid if I'm still in New York City, when I go, they might put me in a potter's field right up there next to City Island called Hart Island, which is a potter's field. That's where they're going to dump my black ass when I die. It's not sad because I'm living my life. I'm living a good life now. Free from stress, free from some punk ass bitch fucking with me, free from some ungrateful children that y'all dealing with. We have no respect for you as a man, as a father, as a man. Nah, I'm happy smoking my cigar on my balcony, talking to you fellas. So I'm going to change this from the Cigar and Thoughts to the Sunday sermon. Because I haven't done a Sunday sermon in a minute. Oh my goodness. Praise God. Hallelujah. I got to get back to doing Sunday sermons, man. Yeah, because y'all need this. Y'all need this. Y'all need this insight and wisdom. Y'all act like I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I may not have experienced what y'all experienced, but I knew at a young age I had to avoid that shit. I knew at a young age at 29 when I went through bankruptcy at 31 years old because of some bitch. I knew I was going to take some time to recover from this shit, from this bullshit. Now I'm thriving. And I'm thriving to do more. And I want you fellas to do more with your life. You can recover from this. You can recover. Now, some of y'all are in happy marriages. I'm not talking to y'all. Don't listen to me. If y'all happy where you are with your woman and your woman is treating you right, and you treating her right, and you have that at family, you have grandchildren, you have great-grandchildren, I ain't talking to y'all. Matter of fact, I encourage it. I want young men, believe it or not, I want young men out there to start a family. But I want you to start it with the right woman. And I don't want you to start it by not you have to value yourself first, not a woman. Value yourself first as a man. Be a man. Be respectful as a man. Be a respectable man. Be an honest man. Be honest of what you want in this life. Because you only get one chance out of this life, man. Once you're gone, you're going to be forgotten. As soon as they put you in that ground, you're forgotten. Life goes on. Nobody's going to give a fuck about you. They'll cry for a few days, but then they're going to say, man, fuck him. Talking crazy who? Didn't he die 3 years ago? Live your life. Don't worry about anybody else's life. Live your life. Stop pandering and simping. Stop pandering to these women. Stop pandering to these black women. Because you're going to find out that they ain't shit. Stop pandering to white women. Stop pandering to women in general. Because you're going to realize that these bitches ain't shit. 99% of them ain't shit. You want the 1%, fellas. And those of you that have the 1% in your life, be happy. You're the lucky one. You won the lottery of life. Okay? Hold on, let me see. Let me see who we got here. Oh man, I'm at 40 minutes in. I got shit to do today. I got shit to do. Let me get on out of here. All right. We're gonna have this is fun. I'm gonna have another Sunday sermon on the balcony next week. All right. I'm gonna have to do this regularly. Okay. Well, listen. I gotta run. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here, fellas. Let's be careful out there. All right.